Hey guys, it's Mr. Galloway, and I am so excited to be doing our first project together. Today, we're going to be drawing something that is called a self portrait. You may already know this, but a portrait is a picture of a person, and a self portrait is a picture of you. So we're going to be drawing a picture of ourselves today because Mr. Galloway hasn't really got to truly meet everybody yet. And I thought this would be a fun way to present ourselves. So I'm going to show you the beginnings of a self-portrait today, but we're going to do something a little fun. So let me show you some examples of a self-portrait because they don't always look just like the person. They could be cartoony, they could be abstract, there's all kinds of things. And we're going to talk about some of those words as we go. But here's one example. Can you see that? No, you can't, but I'll put it down here. So this is a weird self-portrait Mr. Galloway painted of himself just the other day. And this one's kind of funny because it's actually inspired by another piece of art. I am going to give a little bonus shout out to the first person who can message me and tell me the name of the artist and painting that maybe this self-portrait was inspired by. I want to see if you guys can do some research and figure it out. But we're going to be doing a self-portrait today of you, not of me. I'm going to do one of me, but you're going to do one of you. I know, it's confusing, but it's okay. So we're going to be drawing ourselves. I'm going to show you how, and we're going to mix it up a bit. I'm going to use a pencil for most of our drawing today, because with a pencil, if you make a mistake, you can erase, and it makes it really easy to get it looking the way you want it to look. So I'm going to start with kind of almost like an oval shape on my paper, it kind of in the middle, and I want to do it pretty large, about like this big. So I'm going to very lightly sketch out an oval shape. And the cool thing about an oval that's going to be a person's head is you want it to be more like an egg, so it's a little skinnier on one end. If it's not perfect, this is going to be a little cartoony anyway, so it's okay. But I'm going to do like an oval shape, okay? Now I said draw lightly. When you're using a pencil, you can draw really dark, and you can press a little softer to get these light, sketchy lines. The reason we want to draw lightly is because light lines are super easy to erase. Darker lines leave marks behind. So we're going to sketch lightly. We're going to do some light lines. Okay. So I drew my oval. It's good to go. Now we're going to kind of do a self-portrait with a mask on. I thought that would be kind of cool. And I'll show you some ways we can detail that soon. So about in the middle of my head, I want to curve up and back down, almost like a little hill. Okay. Because this is where my mask is going to be. My nose would be underneath this little bump here. So I curved up and curved back down. Okay. I'm going to put a neck by drawing two lines down like that. Okay. And then I want to curve down, curve down. Now, if I put a little smiley here, whoop, that can be where my little neckline of my t-shirt would go. Or if you want to be a little fancier, instead of an oval, you could put a V kind of like that. And this would be if you're wearing like a button shirt or something like that. So I've got my head pretty much drawn out. I want some ears on the side. I just kind of went roop. If that's a little hard for you, you could just put almost like a little bump like this. A little curve on each side. It doesn't really matter for this, but we want a little ear on both sides. Okay. Next is where your eyes are going to come in. We want our eyes to be kind of like a football shape, you know, like this kind of thing. But an easy way to do it is if you think about a sad face and a smile, and you just put them together. So I got sad, I've got smile, sad, smile, sad, smile. And that gives you a little eyeball shape, okay? So I want to put one on each side. I'm just going to start with the sad part to get them to make sure they're about where I want them. And that way you can, if this one looks a little too high or a little too low, you can move it around. But I'm going to put a sad face on both sides. Once I get them about where I want them, I can put in my happy face. And this looks a little cartoony. The eyes are actually too big, but that's okay. We want this to be kind of a cartoon drawing. Next, I'm going to put my little pupil, the circle inside my eye. So I'm going to draw a little circle on the top up here, like whoop, whoop, like that. See how I kind of went across the top? You could put just a circle in the middle, and that's fine. But we want we'll put it a little on the top so it looks like he's more looking at you like that. Okay. And I could even put a little ring around that if I wanted to. Actually, I drew it so big. I'm going to put a smaller circle inside of those. Circle. Circle. Okay, so I've got a circle. I've got a circle. And I'm going to put an even smaller circle inside of that one, kind of off to the side. Because if I color in this medium circle, but I leave that little circle white, that's going to be the little shiny spot on my eyeball. Okay. There we go. Now I could put a little eyelid above my eye by just doing another little curve above it like that. I could put a little hint where my nose would be by drawing two little lines up. All right. And then my hair. Okay. Now everybody's hair is a little bit different. Mr. Galloway has this brown, long, luscious hair. But so I'm going to kind of draw out the two little top parts where my hair is parted in the middle. And I could have my hair kind of peeking out behind where my ponytail comes down like that. And that'll make it look like I have that longer hair that goes behind my ears and comes out the back. Of course, I have a little beard, so I might have the beginnings of that kind of peeking right there. And I definitely want to put my eyebrows like this. Okay. Now, if you have different hair, everybody's hair is a little different. So you might want to look in the mirror or think about yourself and think about how you can do your hair. Some people have long hair coming down, and you might want to draw some of that out. Some people have little shorter hair that's a little thicker, so you might want to sketch out some of that on the top of the head. Maybe you have braids and you want to just kind of put some little darker braids coming down both sides. But think about how your hair looks and see if you can kind of capture it. This is just a little cartoony picture, so it does not have to be perfect. But we want to kind of get it like that. Now, we have a lot more to add to this picture. It's going to be so cool. But I think this is going to be a stopping point for today. I don't want to give you too much at once. And we're going to kind of do this in little chunks. Okay. Now, I do want you to do one thing. We do want this to be a little cartoonier. So I'm going to actually use a Sharpie to outline my pencil lines. Once I have it all sketched out, I'm going to use this to outline it. If you don't have a Sharpie, you could use a marker or like a black crayon. But I'm just going to go over these pencil lines as neatly as I can with my Sharpie to kind of give it almost like that caricature look, the cartoony look. So I'm going to do that real quickly just to wrap up my drawing today. Okay, so I have my picture outlined with a marker. It's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. And next week, we're going to add some color and other really cool things to our picture to make it look even better. Actually, I'm looking at it now, and I just realized, I looked at myself in my camera here. I just realized Mr. Galloway forgot his glasses. Doesn't really look like me without my glasses. So I'm going to quickly draw those on. And while I was outlining, you might have noticed I added a couple little details that I hadn't drawn on. So that's something else you can do. You can always erase things that didn't work for you. You can add things that you wanted to make it look a little more like you. That's the good part about sketching with pencil first. There we go. Got me glasses now. Looking nice. All right. So I should have sketched that out with a pencil first. That would have made it a little neater, but it's fine. All right. Now it looks more like me. And I'll put those little lines. Maybe I'll even put a little swoop and a little. All right. So I have the beginnings of my Mr. Galloway self-portrait. Next week, we'll add some color. I really want to see what you guys came up with. So what I want you to do is take a picture of your self-portrait and upload it onto Google Classroom so I can see what you did, okay? All right. Can't wait. Next week, we'll knock this out and add some color to it and make it look even more epic. Bye, guys. See you next week.